Hello, everyone. Today is Thursday, June 13th. Again, I can't believe where the time has gone. I know I haven't posted in a while, so I just wanted to give you an update, kind of check in, let everybody know what I'm doing. Um, and kind of give like a back what has happened over the last few months since I posted. Um, So, in I think the last update I gave was in February. Um, I had landed in East Texas. I was camping out. Um, I started off at one place. It was a free campsite that's dry camping, so there's no showers, no running water, no electricity, nothing like that. Um, and they were going to do a controlled burn. So I'd been there about a week. Then they asked, I was asking the rangers when they came by to let me know. I was like, where else can I stay? And they were like, well, there's a couple places. And I was going, I'd rather the more remote place. I don't really, I just kind of wanted to relax. The girls were having some issues getting along. They were kind of fighting, and I was just kind of like trying to process everything. And so I kind of wanted something more secluded. So we packed all our stuff up, took off from there, headed to this other place. And I wasn't sure. It was very, very remote. There was no one out there. Didn't look like anybody'd been out there for a long time. And so I pulled out my chair and I was sitting down with the girls, and maybe like 20 or 30 minutes after we got there, I look over, and maybe 100 yards to the side of me was a bobcat. And so I swiftly packed up the chair and the girls in the car, and we left from there. I didn't really feel like getting eaten by a bobcat, so figured that was probably not the best spot for us to camp for a while. And we decided to go check out the other camp that they had recommended. That was a horse camp, and there was actually nobody there, but it was a little bit more, it was kind of more accessible and looked like people had actually been there. So we decided to stay there, and funny enough, it actually, a couple days after getting there, I was taking the girls for a walk, and I see this car drive up, and I look in, and I recognize the lady in the car. And it was crazy because I had met her before I went to the farm in Indiana back in August. I felt called to go to Grapeland and wound up at this like an RV park that had cabins, and I met her there and never really thought anything of it. And I was kind of disappointed because there wasn't really seemingly anything that happened when I went through on the trip before I went to Indiana. And so I was kind of a little bummed that, I felt called and then seemingly really nothing happened. Well, that's who it was. So we reconnected, and we exchanged phone numbers, and she was like, well, what are you doing out here? And I'm like, oh, just camping. And, told her I came to Texas, and, didn't necessarily have any plans at the time. And she's like, oh, well, let me see what I can do. And she kind of made it her mission to help me. And it was so wonderful. So she actually introduced me to camp hosts that were at another location close to that. It was a lake, and so I went over and they were letting me stay there, and I was thinking about taking over. They were actually leaving as the camp hosts, and so I was thinking about taking over as the camp host. So I was staying there for free, but I had kind of all the amenities. They had showers and electric and stuff like that, which was really nice. And I was thinking about buying their motorhome and being the camp host there. Well, that wound up not working out. I was getting bounced around a lot, just some drama, and so I moved to a couple different spots. The camp host thing fell through, and I kind of wasn't sure what I was doing. There was, some points of just getting frustrated. It felt like I was kind of stuck, kind of didn't know the direction or what was going to happen, or why I was there anymore, because it didn't seem like a lot was happening, but kind of everything that had transpired actually led me to getting a van. And so I started looking for the van, and again was kind of getting frustrated. There's apparently van life is becoming a lot more popular, and so people are charging 2-3 times what Kelley Blue Book value is of vans, because people will pay it. And so it was a lot of just kind of feeling stuck, not knowing the direction, not a lot happening, but a lot happening, kind of. I know that sounds a little bit weird. But I finally found a van. She is a 1992 GMC Vandura, and I'll actually do a separate video posting I'll show you around the van. And so it started back in February, March. The weather in East Texas was fantastic. It was so nice, sunny, warm, and that was great. Well, start getting into May, and East Texas just becomes a swamp. It is so hot, and the humidity, it's 80% humidity, 90% humidity. So even if it's 85 degrees, it can feel 100 or 105. So it's just ridiculously hot. You are outside and you're just dripping sweat all of the time. There's really no reprieve, because it doesn't even get cool, and it doesn't even cool down at night. So if you don't have air conditioning, which my van does not at the moment, you're just absolutely sweltering and miserable. And then because it's so humid, there's bugs everywhere, so you just kind of get eaten alive, and you're hot and miserable. And so I realized that East Texas probably was not where I'm actually meant to land. I feel like, it was there was a purpose. It served its purpose, me being there. And, but I kind of was feeling like it was time to go. And so I've actually decided that the girls and I are going to be living in the van for a while. And there's a queen size bed in it, which is really nice. And we kind of have our just little setup in there. We go around to different campsites or free spots, whatever. And it's been a really awesome experience. I got the van a month ago now. So she needed a really good cleaning. So I took everything out, steam cleaned the carpets, and just got her really set up and, for us. And we actually took off last Friday from East Texas and headed through New Mexico. I was feeling called to go to Sedona, so I'm actually in Sedona now, and that, I think there was a lot of healing that needed to be done. Sedona is very well known for the energy. There's actually vortexes that I don't remember exactly what causes them, but there's these energy vortexes, and the land is it's very almost sacred in a way, and it's just very healing. There's so much energy, and so I have been so incredibly tired. I got here on Sunday and have just been not really doing much, kind of just allowing the healing, the energy, just getting my feet in the dirt, and really just allowing the energy to flow through me, to heal. And it's felt really good. I've been very tired, so I really haven't done much, but just kind of allowing that time and space for myself to heal. But definitely kind of starting to turn around, feeling better for sure. We're gonna stay here for a couple more days and then head to San Diego for a while. My best friend is getting married, and so we're gonna do a bachelorette spa day together and visit some other friends. And then I definitely want to take off, go up the coast, and I've always wanted to drive up the Pacific Highway, Highway 1, go to the Redwoods. Who knows, maybe go to Alaska. That would go see the Northern Lights. That would be amazing. I don't know about that yet, but just taking off, traveling, really just going and seeing the country, and just enjoying life, being able to experience everything that I never got to and never did when I was living the corporate life, and just didn't get to experience. So it's felt so good. Actually, when I got my van, I turned in my 2019 RAV4 hybrid, which I had manifested back last year. But it really wasn't in alignment. The payments were way too expensive. It wasn't, it wasn't in alignment anymore. I really want to live more within my means, which I own my van outright, which is amazing. No car payments. So, and the insurance is way cheaper. So, it felt so good to kind of close that chapter. It was, the corporate life, you kind of, it was a lot of, I feel like, kind of buying things to try and fill the void that was created because I wasn't living my purpose, because you feel so empty because you're living kind of you're living to work. You're not actually being able to live life. And so I feel like I was definitely just kind of trying to fill that void with stuff, and which is kind of just this vicious cycle. You go to work to buy the stuff to fill the void because you're not actually living your purpose. So I feel like that was kind of the final, like, closing of that chapter, and just really living more within my means, and being able to have more free time and be able to, I get to choose where I go and what I do. And I also did, another exciting news for me is I finished my Reiki Master teacher training. So I am now a Reiki Master teacher. That was the most powerful attunement for me. For sure, it was just like so much more powerful, the energy I felt, and like it was way more powerful than any of the other attunements that I've done. And so that was very exciting for me. And I'm definitely looking to move more into the energy healing space, working with animals as well. Part of, I think, when the girls weren't getting along, back in like February, March timeframe, it was very frustrating, and I didn't understand why. But it led me to the realization that it's time that I start pursuing my animal communication, and which I've been doing, practicing animal communication. I found this phenomenal, very in-depth course that I'm just starting, but pursuing animal communication, energy healing, and really stepping into those gifts. And that is really what lights me up and what is really living my purpose. So that's an exciting new development that I will keep you posted on. So I think that's it for now. I hope you guys have a great weekend. Love y'all. Mwah. Bye.